fave, I'ma gon' beat it. Looking in the mirror, kiss my face, I'm too conceited.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another
channel. Welcome to another vlog.
Welcome back to another vlog, to another video. What's up, you guys? It's your boy Will.
It's your boy Q Money.
And we back.
You know what it is? Yeah, blah 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 blah. Like,
and we back. We back with another video. This video was requested by one of our supporters. They comment below and they wanted us to talk about this video.
Talk about coming out story, and since we do, like, we don't really pay attention, but since we do look at some comments, the positive ones, we thought this would be a good video. We open to suggestions, so we appreciate it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we want to tell you a little bit about our coming out, or a lot about it's extensive.
Yeah, just give you guys some insight on our coming out story, journey, whatever, lifestyle, however you want to put it. And that way, this video may help some people, it may not. It may touch some people, it may not. But this is our stories, our personal, individual stories.
And we would like to, help motivate, like let people know that they're not alone, whatever they're going through.
And it's okay to be different, you know what I'm saying? It's okay to live in your truth, and that wasn't easy growing up, but I think the people that love you are gonna love you, and the people that don't, they don't, you know what I'm saying?
They don't know nothing about loving, I guess, in a way, because I don't think everybody should love unconditionally, but they don't know nothing about loving someone for being themselves.
I disagree. I think people should love unconditionally. I think, who are we to judge? I think God loves us unconditionally. I think we should also love a person unconditionally. It's easy said than done, but I think life would be a bit more easier if we all lived life that way, rather.
And I also think people should stop taking people's sex lives so personal, people's sexuality so personal, because it's their sexuality, not yours. So it need not to be taken personally.
Yeah.
Like, who they lay with is not who you lay with. Who they lay with don't do nothing. Like, it don't do nothing to you. So I don't understand why I take it so personal. But that's just us. If everybody don't like us, it'll be a better world, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So we didn't want this to be a sit down, whereas it was all over the place. So if you're looking at our phones, we're literally just going off the subtopics of what we want to talk about.
Yeah.
So I'll allow Will to start off first, set the tone.
Okay. So for me, there's a few things like he said, like we wanted to touch bases on. And the first thing for me, it was just because I think a lot of people go through this, and most people don't understand, and some people do understand. But for me, it's a lot of people say, "How do you know you were gay? How do you know you were bisexual? How do you know you were curious?" All these things, all these questions, or whatever. And some people even feel like, we're born this way. I like to say different because I don't like to box myself or anybody else in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like to put a title on somebody or even myself at times. And the question was, how did I know I was different?
How and when did you know you were different?
And when did I know I was different? For me, I can't say in a specific time that I knew when I was different, but all I can remember is that I've had this feeling for a long time.
What's the feeling? Like, what feeling?
Just having this attraction, to the same sex. You know what I'm saying?
Opposite sex. No, it's not.
I mean, yeah, just having this feeling towards the same sex. And even now, I'm thinking back on it, my younger self, like, I don't even know. I can't even explain the feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell people all the time, I just think things like this are kind of hard to kind of explain or describe. I think it's just a feeling, like it's just a feeling that.
I need more than just a feeling. If I feel like, hey, like, what's the feeling? It's just a feeling you can explain. But yes, like, I get you can't explain this an inexplainable feeling, but it's like, how did you know? Like, what was that feeling that made you want to act upon it? Like, what was it? Like, you just like, the feeling, like this feeling, what did it look like?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. For me, I feel like it started off as an experimental thing, a curious thing. You know what I'm saying? Like it started out
How
as
does that look?
I can't describe that feeling.
So you lost your virginity at an early age, right?
I lost my virginity.
Did you feel fulfilled when you lost your virginity with girls? I mean, at a young age, I'm pretty sure nobody knew what they're doing. So it's like, you know, did you feel fulfilled? Like, what was it? Like, did you feel like, all right, I'm not attracted to this body as much as I can be attracted to this body? Like, what was it? Like, what did you see?
See, that's the thing. I've always been attracted to women for certain reasons. You know what I'm saying? And I think when I lost my virginity at the age of, I think I was like 9. I mean, don't judge me, but I was young, I was fast, and I was dealing with, at that age, I was dealing with females that were older than me. So
predatorial, like, they were just like...
Not predatorial, just...
They kind of were. If you were 9, how old were they?
But they were older than me. Like, they were in, like, like, I was 9, I'm gonna say, maybe, like, 3 years older than me. Nothing outrageous. They were, like, but they were more experienced. I think, back where I'm from in Miami, I think the girls were a little bit more... experienced than the guys were, you know what I'm saying? I mean, if that's what you want to call it. But yeah, like, even when I lost my virginity at that age into a female or whatever, I was just so excited to do it, you know what I'm saying? Because all the kids, all my peers, you know, they were having sex, you know, they were experimenting, they had stories to tell. So for me, it was just like, okay, like I want to lose it, like I want to do it or whatever. And when I finally got the chance to, I did it or whatever. Did it, and I didn't do it for a while. You know, still was dating, and you know, like being involved with females or whatever. But yeah, it was. I can't tell you what actual feeling I felt that made me decide on. Like I said, it was always a curious thing for me. You know what I'm saying? Like.
So the feeling was curiosity?
Yeah, curiosity. It was, you know, exploring the male body and seeing, I guess, what it would feel like or whatever. But that feeling started, I started to like the feeling, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have one of those stories too. I felt like, you know, like somebody introduced me to it or I was exposed to it or anything like that. Because as far as I remember, I don't remember young growing up. And there were too many people that were, you know, that were different, that were gay. You know what I'm saying? So it was I never had like a role model in a sense, or somebody that said, okay, look, I want to be like this, I want to try that or whatever. Because I was young, I was always outside, I was always, you know, I was doing kid things. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's probably one of the reasons why I can't remember when did it happen or when did I decide. I just knew that at some point in my life, it happened. And it continued to happen. Like, you know. What about you?
From young. Like, I just knew, like, I think I knew, like, I remember, like, my
And sorry to cut you off real quick before you get into your story. But I feel as though that God bless her soul, I feel like my mom knew. I feel like my grandmother knew, my aunt knew, or whatever. And it was, like, I wasn't a flamboyant, you know, child growing up and nothing like that. I was always soft-spoken, but I was never, like, flamboyant or, you know, I walk with a twist or anything like that. That was never me, you know what I'm saying? And nothing wrong with that, you know, that's, you know, how some people were growing up, whatever. But I never gave that. But I feel like it was my parents' senses, you know what I'm saying? Like my elders, they knew, you know what I'm saying? Like they always say, when your parents gonna always knew, you know what I'm saying? Like they gave birth to you. So for me, I feel like they knew or whatever. Oh, okay. Oh, not even that they knew. I feel like they had like some inkling, you know, like to say, okay, look, like it's a possibility. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, go ahead. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. I don't know why I was talking. What was it? How and when did? No, I'm saying we probably need one. So when I cut off, you spent 2 minutes.
Okay.
I don't know how much more time you got on this.
You got 10 more minutes.
You got 20 minutes?
Yeah, it was just at 20 something, right?
You know what I'm saying? We probably want to use no memory card. But I knew from young, like I just knew I didn't know what it was. I just knew I was attracted to men. I think society put the labels on it, like.
So as a boy, you knew you was attracted to
Men, yes,
men as a young boy.
I feel like my first encounter was like when I was 2 or 3. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if it was a dream. It probably was a dream, but it was with.
Wait, you said 2 or 3?
Yeah. If I think I got caught. Me and I think my friend at the time got caught touching each other peepees.
I mean, as kids, I think when you're young, you know what I'm saying, you don't know what's wrong or what's right, you know what I'm saying, especially at the age of 2, I think that.
Yeah, but you know, they quickly deemed that as wrong, and I think that they quickly had a label on it. I was gonna say, of course, any kid, any baby, that's a baby. It's like, of course, that's it should be no sexualizing each other as babies. That's kind of like crazy. I just knew as I progressed, as I got older, it was like my attraction to men really was just so like I couldn't hide it. Like I could hide it. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I couldn't hide myself and make it seem like I wasn't attracted to men. I was like, yeah, I'm attracted to men. Like I knew deep down I was. Like, I wanted to see, like, you know, what you got in your pants. Like, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to see that. So it wasn't like this whole thing where I was like.
But you dated females first, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I did date females first. But all in all, I always knew like, hey, like. But the thing is, I always had this idea. I don't know why, but I always had this idea like I want to marry a girl. I want to have babies with a girl. But I knew I was gonna have this attraction to a man. Like I knew I was just like, you know what, I probably, you know, be with a girl, you know, mess around with size sometimes with men. But yeah, no. So that was my thing. It's like I always knew. I feel like from what I can remember, I know. But
so as a child at the age of 2, you knew that you were attracted to.
I don't think I knew what it was, so I'm not saying like, oh yeah, I'm just saying. But for me to even experience or have that type of experience, clearly it was something. So like as I grew older, like of course it was always like, oh that's bad. Like I think our age range was like the ending. I'm not saying ending of, but it was like it became a little more accepting, you know, than it was from before.
Right.
So I wouldn't say like it was like it looked as bad. Like my brother made it bad. Like it just looked as bad. Like it was like alright. So it was not something I was comfortable with coming out. You know, I wasn't comfortable. Whoa, it's not it. You know, I'm not gonna jump the gun, but I wasn't. It just wasn't something I could be comfortable with because I knew, like, you know.
Yeah.
It just wasn't it. It wasn't what, you know, people would accept at that age.
I mean, so now that you say that, I think the next question was,
What was your fears before coming out?
what was our fears before coming out? What was my fears before coming out? I think for me, I'm gonna say this first. I think that me coming out to the world was this platform. I'm gonna say me coming out to everybody, stamping it, was me creating this YouTube channel with Kesey.
What was his idea, by the way?
Yeah, it was my idea.
I never knew what YouTube was. No, I did, but I just never cared about vlogging. I never watched vlogs. I didn't know what that was.
Yeah, but for the most part, one of my fears was, I think I had this conversation with you before too, about it. It's just, in today's society, we deal with this stigma. I think we deal with this thing to where it's just like a man can't explore their sexuality without being completely contaminated. You know, like you're ill in a sense. So that was always my fear. My fear was me being boxed in, because, you know, we grow up in these traditional households to where, you know, we are taught that a man should be with a woman and you should get married, have kids, raise your kids or whatever they think that your future looks like or whatever, or should be like. And for me, I lived that life. Like I dated, you know, and I dealt with females all the way up into, I think I'm gonna say, in and of high school, college. No, in the high school, like my last years of high school or whatever. And after, I feel like, yeah, after, I think, my early 20s. And yeah, I was always so hard on myself, and I was always scared to, you know, to live in my truth because of society, because of, you know, what my family, my friends, what my peers may think or how they may look at me. You know, you have that fear of, you know, asking yourself, are you going to be accepted? You know, and then not by just everyone, but by the people that mean the most to you. Your brothers, your sisters, your aunt, your mom, your dad. You know, like you beat yourself up because you don't know how they're going to take it, how they're going to perceive it. You know, because that's not what we're taught. We're taught that that's wrong. You know, you're condemned for that. You know, this is an abomination. You know, all these things. So, I mean, it's like you're put in these shackles as you're growing up, and it's so hard for you to be free, you know? And that was always my fear. I was just like, you know, because like I tell people all the time, it's just, for me, it's different for a male and a female. You know, a female, she can explore her sexuality whenever, however she wants, in my opinion, without being contaminated, without being labeled, or with being able to come back from that. A female, I feel like, for me, in my opinion, they can date another female, and another female, and another female, and a guy won't look at them different. Once you dated the same sex, it's just like you're contaminated. It's just like there's no coming back from that. Like you're gonna always be labeled as gay, as homo, as, you know, like you're contaminated at this point. You know what I'm saying? So there's no coming back from that. And you know, I think some guys out there, they want to experience their sexuality. They are curious. They want to try different things. They want to explore different things. You know what I'm saying? And we don't have the freedom to do that without.
Can't even smoke hookah without being labeled as gay.
Right.
Are you serious? Can't smoke hookah without being labeled as gay. It's just like, it's crazy to me. I feel bad. I honestly feel bad for heterosexual males, and not to say, oh yeah, I feel bad because it's a woman, but it's like this box, and this is in just black culture. This box that y'all are put in, like you can't do this without looking gay. You can't do that without looking gay. It's
not
crazy.
Y'all, because it's me.
No, not because I won't. Because nothing. Like I said to you, like for me, for someone to be gay is a sexual act upon a man. That's not even gay. Like it depends on what you label it. But a gay action is not to a man lay down. A gay action is not to a man lay down with a man. Like I don't think anything outside of having sex with a man is gay, honestly.
Yeah, and in the world we live in.
Even if that may be bisexual, by the way. So.
Yeah, and it's just like everything that we do as a black man.
Sometimes I get sexual.
Right, it's deemed as gay. You know what I'm saying? Like you just said, smoking hookah, that's a feminine trait.
Which, you know, originated from the Middle Easterns, and
right.
It's just sad.
Not opening the door, or allowing not wanting to chase a female, wanting to be chased. It's a deemed feminine trait.
In the black culture.
In the black culture, at least.
So, my fear before coming out was being disowned. Like, it was just being disowned. Knowing how my brother felt about it, and knowing that I was like one of the few male figures in my life, and just seeing like things he used to post. Now we're real quick disclaimer, we're close as ever. So, but it was like just seeing the things he posted and seeing the things that he said and how he felt and his perspective. I think it was just like losing my brother. For the rest of my life, the possibility of it, but I couldn't keep losing myself. It also was like how my mom would react. Like, definitely was that. Like, how would she react when? I said something. I was like, those are the people that's the only family I really knew. Like my mom, my aunt, my brother. Like, you know, it's just how everybody react, how it would react. But I think the day and age they got with it. Like, I think them having their perspectives are before me. The love that they had for me outweighed whatever perspective they had or whatever stereotypes they had in their head. So I think my fears, honestly, my biggest fear probably was myself. Me being like coming into myself. I think that was my fear. Because like, honestly, if people love you, they'll love you. Like, and I know people look for acceptance in people that, you know, like they have around their whole lives. But honestly, if they love you, they'll come around. Like, they, like what? Why do my sexuality matter that much to you? Why? Like, and as far as men that's curious, explore, have fun. As long as you're not hurting nobody, have fun. Like, y'all understand. It's just so sad, like, seeing these different stereotypes or just different things, just different, like, ideologies that y'all think these men should act like, these black men should act like. I just really want y'all to, like, allow these people to be them without feeling like, damn, I'm less than a man. It's not right, it's not fair.
Yeah, that was my fear too, of just, like I said, losing people close to me, you know what I'm saying, not having them, or have them look at me in a certain way, you know what I'm saying, because I feel like, for me, I think we grow up with that mentality, like we don't care what people think, we don't, you know, but in all actuality, we do care, you know, especially when it's coming from the people that we actually love or are dear to us, and for me, it was just like, I didn't want to come out. This is one of my things I used to always tell my friends. I used to say, be careful of what you say to people when you're coming out or when you are letting people know your sexual preference or whatever. So I went some of my days in my life just saying, oh, I'm sexually fluid, I'm bisexual, I'm gay, I'm this, I'm that, or whatever, because I felt like once you label yourself, I feel like that's what people start to view you as. And not only that, I feel like that then people start analyzing the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you speak, your mannerisms, this and that and the third, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I don't want to be under a microscope, you know what I'm saying? You didn't look at me this way before, so continue to not look at me. I'm still the same person,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I think once you tell a person, oh, I'm gay, or oh, I'm this or I'm that, now they start looking for certain characteristics and certain traits.
I know about my girls. The girls are like, you think my man gay? Girl, do you think your man gay? What the hell I look like to you? Can't stand it. Because y'all wanna put things on our microscope. Y'all watch what y'all gay friends do. And be like, my man do that, my man do that. It's like, that's just the feedback you're saying. But do you think my man gay? I don't know. Do you think your man gay? Found out.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just like, y'all okay with having gay friends until you have a gay son or you have a gay, like, you have a kid. Like, y'all okay with that? That's kind of crazy to me.
And that's another thing too. That was what I heard you say something about it. Just listening to the people around you, the people closest to you, say certain things. So me growing up, it was just like, it's not that I always wanted to be secretive. I always wanted to live private, and it's not that I didn't want to tell my loved ones. But it's just like when you see how people go so hard, and they're just like, oh yeah. When it comes to that specific topic, you know what I'm saying? When we're talking about being gay, or we're talking about exploring sexualities, when you have the people closer to you around you condemning people and certain things they do, it's just like, yo, like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna be in a closet, I'm gonna be private my whole life, because if this how you view it or this what you think of it, then yeah, I'm gonna keep my stuff to myself.
And I don't want that, and honestly, even that, to go off that, I'm sorry to cut you off, but even that, I don't want your false perception of love. Like, why do I have to hide myself because of how you do things? Like, if you're not gonna love me fully, if you're not gonna love who I am, then you're not for me. And I think that's the theme of what I'm saying tonight, like, or what I'm saying in this video. It's like, you're not for me because of your negative thoughts of who I am. Like, you may not know who I am exactly. That's why you gotta watch what you say. Like, the negatives that come out your mouth is like, wow, like, that's enough for me to fall out with you. Like, that's enough for me to distance from you, because like, what? Like, at the end of the day, we're all human beings. Like, I could tell you the most bizarre things I heard before I came out from people that I thought that was my friends. Like, oh, they love me. They can't love me talking like this. They can't. They don't know what love is. Love is inclusive. Love is everybody. Like, love is universal. You can't love me talking like this. You don't know what love is if you talking like this.
But I also think that's because a lot of people are uneducated on just that topic, you know, or, you know, don't know or haven't had somebody close to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, people.
Why do it take that though?
Right, I agree. Why do it take that? But that's just
like,
the world we live in. You know what I'm saying? Like it takes us it to be someone's son or cousin or brother or whatever for them to have a different outlook on that situation, that personal topic, whatever.
So the next question is, when did you come out? How did that feel for you? And how did people take it?
You wanna go?
Sure. So I came out after I was taken advantage of. It was like, I remember calling my mom the day after. I was like really, really drunk night. I called my mom the day after crying, like I just want to hug. Like can you hug me? She said, what's wrong? I was in DC. Of course I didn't get to detail. Then I went back home to New York and she was like, I was just off. Like, I don't know how to tell anybody, like, you know, what happened. So I was just off and she was like, can I ask you a question? I already know where it's coming from, like, she know her son, like, I'm around. So she was like, you know, are you, I was like, cause I want her to say it out of my mouth, like, am I what? Like, you shouldn't be ashamed to say it. I guess because if I was ashamed, then of course she gonna be ashamed. You know what I'm saying? Like, people, you only what your worth is, you know? Like, if you don't see you worthy enough of who you are, like, you don't see, okay, like, I'm proud, I guess. People not be proud for you. So she like, are you, like, am I what? She like, are you, do you like men? I was like, yes, I do. I have a boyfriend. And I definitely know how to tell my boyfriend at the time I was taking advantage of. She
Can't
goes,
open that.
I gotta open it because I know what I'm answering. How did that feel for you? Honestly, I felt alone because, like, again, I came out, but I also had this big secret, like, or I had this big thing I was ashamed of. I was like, grown ass man, how are you taking advantage of? So me coming out was like, I felt alone. I didn't say nothing about it until like 6-7 months down the line of like, like me just going through this journey, like, hey, like, I was taken advantage of. Like, I had to go into therapy and like, that started my therapy journey. How did people take it? My mom, I think she had a hard time like transitioning over to her son being out to her because she was like, like, you don't have to put up with men, men put you through. She's like, just go back to her girl. Like, should I just go back? You can go back to her. I'm like, it's not that easy. Like, I can't go back to her girl. I'm not there. Like, I can't go back to her girl. Like, I don't want to go back to her girl. So that's basically my coming out story. I don't want to like ramble. But I say that to say, like, if you are taken advantage of, if it is a drunk night, like I became so defensive of friends that were getting drunk, and I seen people like preying upon them. If you are, please do not be scared or don't be ashamed to speak up. You don't have to go through that fight alone. Like, it was so many days I felt suicidal. Like, wow, like this is a lot. Like, who can I tell? Like, it just felt like a lot. It was that weight on my shoulders. And then when I finally was able to speak on it, I cried and cried and cried. Like, I can't watch certain scenes in shows and movies without being emotional. It affected my sex life for years. Like, I had to be a little intoxicated to have sex. Like, it just affected me so negatively. And I don't want that for nobody else. So if you were, just understand it's not to be ashamed of, all right? I promise you.
Proud of you.
Thank you.
For me, I think this would have had to be my first time coming out. And for me, it wasn't a come out because still nobody knew. I mean, this one particular person knew, which was my oldest sister. My freshman year of high school, my 9th grade year, whatever. This is when I first really started exploring and started really getting involved in the lifestyle and really exploring my sexuality. Was my freshman year of high school or whatever. I'll never forget this day. My oldest sister, we were sitting in the room one day and we were playing, I don't know what game it was, but I know it was playing a video game. And back then, this is when the sidekicks were out. She had the sidekick Slide, I had the sidekick LX, or XL, I don't know which one it is. But yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. LX?
Sidekick LX. XL was crazy.
Yeah, sidekick LX. I had the sidekick LX and she had the Slide. And we was in my room at the time. We were playing the video games or whatever. And my sister, if anybody knows, like, she's my best friend. And back then, this is when AIM was out and all that stuff, whatever. And she asked to use my phone while we were in the middle of playing the game or whatever. And me, I was the type of person, I was so obsessed with my sidekick, and I wanted the sound. Like, I always liked the noise that it makes when you flip the phone and, you know, you type in and stuff like that. So my volume on my phone was never down. And I gave her my phone, and in my head, I'm like, why does she want my phone? And her phone is right there, you know what I'm saying? And I gave her my phone or whatever, not thinking anything of it at the time. And she started to turn my volume down on my phone. Me having a sidekick so long, you know when a person is leaving certain things to go to certain things because of the sound effect on the phone. Long story short, she went through my aim or whatever. And the person that I was conversing with at the time had sent me nudes. And she seen those nudes. And I never forget, she turned to me and she was just like, you know, we young, you know, we teenagers. So we best friends. I'm like, yeah. She was like, you tell me everything. And I'm just like, yeah, like I'm not understanding where it's coming from, whatever. But in my head, I'm knowing, like, okay, yeah, she just went through my phone and she just seen something or whatever. And I'm pretty sure I know what it is that she's seen. So she started hitting me with all these questions. And at that point, I felt like my back was up against the wall and I felt like I had no choice but to tell her. And even though I wanted to tell her, it was just hard to say. It's the hardest thing for me to say. So in the midst of me trying to tell her or whatever, I just broke down and just started crying. I started bawling. I'm just like, because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what to take from it. I didn't know how me telling her was going to change the dynamic of our relationship, you know. But it didn't, you know, thank God it didn't. Because come to find out, she was talking to females. She was dating girls also. She was exploring sexuality. So it turned into a bonding moment for us, which made us even.
Since we were open pussies.
Right. We became closer, you know, we became inseparable at that time, whatever. So that was the first time. Second time it wasn't a second time, but my aunt, she's like my second mom or whatever. I think me growing up, I think people have always speculated due to the fact that I was always, not to toot my own horn, I was always handsome. I was always well-groomed. And then, you know, you got this thing when people growing up, and this is one thing that I used to hate all the time, and I'm pretty sure you can agree. When people used to always say, your mannerism, oh, the way he talk, or he too proper, or he's
the definitely black culture, so it's like,
yeah, he's well-groomed.
And I'm gonna tell you, any black girl that have any type of mindset that's watching this, I feel you, bookie.
Yeah, it was that mentality where, you know, growing up, they like, you know, like, you too handsome, or you too soft-spoken, or you too well-groomed, you too clean, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I think when we growing up, I've always been very, you know, well-groomed and well-mannered and put together, whatever. So it's always a speculation, like, is he not, whatever. So my cousins then would say little things, whatever. And then my friend group at that, when I got in high school, my friend group started to change or whatever, and I started to associate myself with, you know, people that were like me, you know what I'm saying? People that I had those conversations with, or people that I dated, you know, we would start to hang out or whatever. And I didn't have a lot of friends outside of my family. So when I bring people around, it always became personal or whatever. Long story short, I don't want to ramble about it, but my aunt had asked me one day, and she was just like, me and my aunt, we talk about everything. We like this. We like very, very close. And she overheard my cousin speaking about me bad one day, which is like, yo, Willie this, Willie that, Willie this, or whatever like that. She's listening in on the conversation. And once I got to her house that day, she pulled me, she was like, hey, I have something, come here. She's like, I want to show you something, I got something in the room, I want to show you. And when she pulled me in the room, it was her way of getting me away from my cousin now, or whatever. And once I got in the room, she was just like, can I ask you something? And I was like, yeah. She was like, do you like boys?
Love them.
And I'm in shock at that time. I'm just like, huh? I'm like, no. I'm like, what? I'm like, hell no. I'm like, no, I don't. Or whatever. And I never lied to my aunt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tell my aunt everything. So for me, that was like devastating for me to do. So I lied to her face, and then I left out the room. I was in the process of getting ready to go to work at the time. On my way to work, I couldn't do nothing but just bust out in tears. So I'm on my way to work, and I'm crying. I'm just like, yo, like, I can't, you know, beat myself up. So I called my aunt on the phone and was just like, historically crying, you know what I'm saying? Like hysterically crying on the phone, and at that point she already, you know, I'm just like, I'm so sorry, like I lied to you, or whatever the case may be. And I told her what you asked me was true or whatever. So I confessed and I told her whatever, and then that was that. But overall, I think, like I said in the beginning of the video, this was it for me. Like, this was really good. And honestly, truly, I'm coming out.
This is big.
This is my reveal. You know what I'm saying? Like, go to the bro. Like, my immediate family knew.
I met them already.
My sisters, the people that needed to know, knew what was going on. Because I was always private. It's not something I was hiding. It was just a simple fact that I felt as though I didn't need people in my personal life. I mean, my personal, I tell people when I feel it. I want to tell them, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, you still been on camera.
Oh.
I tell people what I need to tell, what I want them to know. You know what I'm saying? Not what they feel as though they need to know. Yeah, so that was that for me. I think it's been a sense of relief for me overall, because I felt like, you know, like, I've always been afraid and I always cared too much about what people thought and what they think or whatever. So for me, it was just like the weight lifted off my shoulder. So weight lifted off my shoulder, and I'm happy I did it. You know, and I didn't do it for nobody else, for myself. So I'm happy that I built the courage to live in my truth and just be myself. I think this has been the happiest I've been a long time. You know what I'm saying? Because for a while now, it was just like, okay, I wasn't being the best version of myself that I know I could be. You know, and I think once we start doing that, I think life gets a bit more easier. You know, it's just me personally and how I feel. But this is where I'm at now, and I want to change it.
So the last question is, do you deal with any challenges that now that you're living in your truth? Honestly, this is very short. So before we know, I'm in my own world. I'm enjoying my life. This is what it is. Like, as long as you don't disrespect me, I won't disrespect you. So yeah, no, I don't. Like, I fight all my challenges. If my mother could accept me, my brother could accept me, my lover could accept me, then I'm okay. Fine. No. Okay. Like, what? I'm done.
What was it?
Do you deal with any challenges now that you're living in your truth?
Do I deal with any challenges now that I'm living my truth? Not really. For me, I feel like
I think all the hardships is from like when you first come out. Like now that all that other stuff seems so minute now that you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I feel like where I'm at now in my life, I feel like, you know, like, for one, I take care of myself. You know, for one, I provide. You know, like myself, like nobody take care of, nobody pays my bills. You know, that's not a mentality to have, but that's just the truth of the matter. You know what I'm saying? Like I think I'm too old to be thinking about how someone else viewed me, or someone else's opinion, or allow somebody else's opinions, or not accepting me to affect my everyday life. You know what I'm saying? So there's not too many challenges. I think we as a community, we are still faced with a lot of challenges overall. You know. And just being discriminated against and frowned upon, and
that's just not gay men though. That's just not gay men. That's trans.
That's trans. Yeah, that's bisexual. That's lesbian women. That's,
like,
you know, the whole LGBTQ plus community. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that we face, we can't. When it comes
face challenges every day now. Like we face the targeting, the stigmas, we face those challenges. I think that we have a long way. We come a long way. We have a long way to go. That's even in black community. I feel like, but in the LGBTQIA+, I think I'm saying it right. I'm sorry if I'm not. I think we have so much more to overcome, and I think we also need to be a community. Like we need to be in fight just an individual battle for gay men. We can't fight just an individual battle with trans women. We need to come together. We need to stand up for our trans women. We need to stand up for our gay men. We need to stand up for our bisexual men. We need to stand up. Because, actually, we're the only people that can understand each other.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
As individuals, no, like, we're past that. We're so past that. Facing everyday challenges and caring about what other people think. But as a whole, yeah, every day we have challenges.
Every day as a community. Individually, not so much, but yeah, like he said, we gotta come together, we gotta stick together, and fight this fight together. And it's sad, you know what I'm saying? The things that have been happening with the mass shootings and all these things that we face with, my heart goes out to those families that dealt with that tragic.
Talking about the club?
The club.
Yeah, definitely.
But
this concludes the video. We hope that you guys
or somebody or someone or any of you guys, we hope that you guys can relate or you guys can take something from this video.
Our DMs are open. If you need anyone to talk to, we're here. We appreciate all of the support that we do have, we do get. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Again, we are here for anyone who needs a talk, or air, or anything.
And continue to send us suggestions and things that you guys want to see. But until next time, yeah.